Welcome to Subramani. Continuing with the tradition of replying, giving long replies to questions which I would have otherwise avoided. So, here is a question which somebody asked: which sectors are best to invest in India for the next 3 years? Actually, I don't know, and I don't really care. That's the exact answer which I would have given, simply because saying if you are anyway going to invest for the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, then a flexi cap fund will do its job. But some small portion of your money you can always keep for investing in certain areas which look attractive. For example, if you think that the country is going to grow at a good pace, there are many companies in the BFSI sector other than banking, insurance, and asset management companies, in which you could invest and say, okay, I will invest in a banking fund or a BFSI fund which invests in all these companies. So there could be a fund like this available. I have not invested, so I don't know. So typically, it could even be a company in logistics, a company, pharma. You could say, oh, there is some problem in US. Let me not put more money into pharma. I already have a pharma fund, but let me not put more money. Let me divert that money somewhere else, right? So what could that be? That's the question which this person is asking, as to which sectors are best to invest in India for the next 3 years. So based on some reports which I have read, and based on what I have spoken to people, and driven by government policies and technological advancements and global trends like sustainability and digitization. I mean, you have something like ESG also, right? I don't believe in ESG, but yeah, it is a very important investment way to look at it, because somebody like Blackstone has made it, so they will make sure that everybody puts money into ESG. So all these things could be there. And India's push towards self-reliance, right? Atmanirbhar Bharat, infrastructure development, rising FDI contribute to all this outlook. Wanting to score on defense, right? Last 3-4 years, if you have invested in defense, you would have made money. I'll highlight some of the more frequently spoken about, in which people are investing, in which you could invest and make money. Hopefully, I don't know. I could be completely wrong. Have I invested in any of these companies? No EV companies in which I have invested, but auto ancillaries. Some of the auto ancillaries in which I have invested earlier also are now entering EV. So first is renewable energy and green energy. There is no doubt that hydrogen energy or solar or wind power, all this is going to be accessed, because there's a lot of ESG and people talking about causing harm to the environment and things like that. Nobody wants to cause harm to the environment. But having said that, I have also invested in Indian Oil, Coal India, GAIL, and all those companies. I don't think the fossil fuel is going away in a hurry. Definitely, by the time my life ends, we will be 90% dependent on it, if not more, right? So right now, if you are 100, right, so maybe you'll be 75, 80, but you're not going much below that to the end of my life, another 20-25 years. So this sector is, but still, renewable energy is expected to see explosive growth, because India's commitment towards 500 gigawatt watts of clean energy capacity by 2030, and net zero emissions by 2070. So next few years, there will be a lot of investment going into this. Government subsidies, falling costs, solar panels and batteries, and international investment in projects like solar parts. A lot of people I know now have solar energy. We are, as a building, we have solar panels on top. Now we are finding the government is planning to put solar panels in the sky and draw the power from that and give it to you. So all those things are happening, and green hydrogen are key drivers. The market is projected to reach $47 billion by 2032, and about 9% CAGR. There is absolutely no doubt there is money to be made in this. Even if you're late, you're not too late. Second, of course, is electric vehicles. Many people I know have bought electric vehicles. Companies like Reliance have huge parking in their office, and they have EV chargers, right? So EV adoption is accelerating at a 20% increase in sales easily. Is what happened in 2024. Maybe the percentage will fall, but the number of people buying EV, almost everybody who is buying a new vehicle is considering whether it should be an EV or a ICE, right? So especially two-wheelers, three-wheelers, and all those. I mean, if all the Zomato kids convert, all the Swiggy kids convert, that's going to be a huge market. So there'll be local component production which could yield good results for the whole world. I mean, the whole world could be buying from India, so that could be a big thing. Information technology and digital service is very difficult to understand. Will a TCS, Infosys, HCL, Wipro just go down saying, "Oh my God, AI has come"? You speak to some people and they say, "Oh, these companies are finished." I don't think these companies are finished. These companies are, somebody was describing TCS as a school. Any new technology or anything comes, and TCS will have 5,000, 10,000 people able to handle it. Next 3 months, they'll finish learning, they'll recruit fresh, they will teach them, and they're ready. So, any technology, any changes, these companies will adapt. Margins may come down, size may come down, they may outsource more. Some of those things may happen, but I don't think these companies are going away so quickly. They are not walking into the sunset. Yes, the growth may not be there, but the dividend yield would be there, the buybacks could be there, right? So are these companies going to just go away? I don't think so. But yes, you may have to be choosy. You may find a lot of small startups which are making good money. For participating in startups, you may have to put some private equity. Those are some of the risks. In the listed space in AI and IT and digital services, you may not get too many opportunities. That is one problem. Healthcare and pharmaceuticals, there is absolutely no way how this business is going out of fashion. But you may have to do timing a little in this sector, because there are many sectoral, there are many healthcare and pharma funds. You should look at what they are investing, because there is a domestic pharma requirement, US pharma requirement. Then you doing work for US companies, doing research in India, manufacturing for them in India, and giving it back to them, developing molecules for them. All those things, if you don't understand, better off in you're much better off in a pharma fund, rather than trying to pick up Sun Pharma or a Lupin Pharma or Dr. Reddy. It's very difficult to pick pharma stocks. Pharma is a very complicated business, more complicated than IT, and even obviously more complicated than BFSI. So be careful about that. Defense and aerospace is something in which India is going to do well. India is doing well. The growth rates are fantastic. The PEs are also high, so you have to be careful. So maybe again looking at a defense fund, looking at it, I think Birla or somebody has a defense index fund also. So looking at some of those options might be a better way than just getting into trying to buy your own shares. It's going to be very difficult. Maybe Hindustan Aeronautics and all have had their fill and had their run. We don't know what is going to happen. So the fintech and financial services is one place where there is going to be a boom. Should you go and put money in a fintech fund or a BFSI fund? Answer is yes. But if they are excessively put money into banking, then you might as well go and put money in banks directly. But one fund manager I spoke to said, right now I have excess in banking because I think it's a low hanging fruit, but it's a matter of time. I'll get rid of banks and get into other companies where I can put. Electronics and semiconductors, companies like BEL or again going into a fund, and a fund manager picking up those shares is more important. But a lot of PLI initiatives, Silicon India are sitting with clients like Micron and Samsung. With the market is, I think the market will grow at about 15% to 100 billion by 2030. India's emergence as a manufacturing hub under Made in India offers long-term potential in chip production and exports also. So some of these ideas, some notable India infrastructure, government is building a lot of infrastructure with so many airports getting built. Good chance that some of the airlines will do well, right? So many new hospitals coming up, so many new seats coming up for doctors, which means your medical tourism is going to be a big business. So right, look at all these trends, then you might find some market leaders, you might find them at a PE of 45, 50, then you don't know what to do. Then look at some fund managers who are willing to look at all this new technology in something like an opportunities fund. I do not know how many opportunities fund look at all this. So have a look at some of those funds, and that's a good way to see where to invest over the next 3 to 5 years. Thank you.